Picking up the pieces that I lost in the lobby. I put you against the wall, you had us body to body. I can't help the way you make me feel, it's so hard to copy. Let's find common ground, meet me in the lost and found, yeah. Dark days turning into dark nights. I hit the strip and spend it all, I'm having hard times. That reminiscing had me looking through the archives. I seen a picture of you looking like a star shines. And you're bright, 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 like the lights on a fight night, night. Love hit me like a mic, mic, mic. You know I'ma get it right, right, right. So stay with me, run away with me. Need like a dope fiend, need dope. Need like a coke fiend, need coke. Even though your heart cold, ski slope, I really hope the song bringing me close.
I'm coming at you guys with another remastered stamina DK build video. So this is going to be the remastered plague build that I released quite a while ago. So basically back then what we were doing was we were running affliction and we were running charged weapons, and we were achieving both major and minor defile with one type of weapon, right? It was whenever it would cause disease damage. It would also put major defile on somebody, as well as the set itself would proc minor defile. So what we're doing now is we're taking that same idea, but instead we're pumping up a foul, and we're getting a 20% heal debuff on the minor defile, and there is no way to completely get rid of the minor defile. It's much more reliable than, say, Fasalas, and the reason why I say this is because Fasalas is very niche. You gotta like have somebody within a certain meter radius and all that good stuff. So I mean, we can understand why it's not that great. When it comes to affliction, however, is it does not have a cooldown. Okay, and it can proc on anybody, and all you have to do is do damage, and it has a 50% chance to proc. So in other words, meaning 100% uptime of minor defile. At all times. You're always going to have minor defile on somebody. So we're utilizing that, as well as getting a bunch of pen, and then we're also utilizing bleeds. And we're doing this through axe bleeds on the two-hander and axe bleeds on the dual wield. So I'm going to go into detail. Let's go ahead and go into sets. I'm also going to show you guys what I did with CP. I've really divvied out CP, and I've got it exactly where I think I really like it. So let's go ahead and dive into sets and skills, and then we'll move on to CP. Alright, so we're running Bloodspawn. I'm still going to be running Bloodspawn next patch. I do believe that this setup will still be good next patch as a starter setup for the patch until you can get your new one piece items. So of course that's going to take some time. So if you want to go PvP next patch and you want something good to wear, this is a good build to get you started off next patch. So I'm going to be running Afflicted Chest. It's going to be Impin Afflicted Gloves, Impin Legs Afflicted, and Boots Afflicted Impin. I am running one medium belt, and this is also going to be Impin, and it's going to be of Spriggans. Both of my Bloodspawn pieces are going to be also Impin. I'm going to be running an infused Afflicted Necklace, infused Spriggan's Ring, and then this is a robust ring. Ideally, you would want this infused. If you're finding that this is a little squishy, which I do on this particular tune, because this is my Dunmer, on this particular tune, I do find it to be somewhat squishy. I think with the new CP change that I made, I think I've kind of narrowed it down to be way less squishier than it was. you could change this to protective, and having that one extra protective would actually, it's not really going to hurt the damage much, but it will give you quite a bit more tankiness. So I'm running a two-handed Spriggan's sharpened axe for the bleeds, as well as on the back bar I'm running one Master's axe. This is Nirnhone. This is infused. Ideally you would want this to be sharpened, but I already transmuted it once. I don't feel like wasting the geodes, so I just go with infused. I'm running double dot poisons on the front bar, and I'm running the single dot poison on the back bar, and they both can proc at the same time, okay, because they are considered two separate types of poisons. So once again, we are running 5-piece Spriggan's front bar, Master's back bar, afflicted up 100% of the time, and then we are also running Blood Spawn. So now let's dive into skills real quick. So right now I've got Executioner on. This is what I use for 1vxing. When I'm dueling, I tend to go Dizzy Swing instead, and Dizzy Swing is going to give you a lot more damage. You'll find that you don't really need an Execute when dueling in this setup, mainly because the Minor Defile is going to take care of it for you, and then applying the 10% off balance is just going to make everything hurt even worse. So then we're running Venomous Claw, Noxious Breath, Rally on this setup, Camouflage Hunter, and then I'm running Dawnbreaker on the front bar, and I go back and forth between Dawnbreaker and Leap. In some cases I run Leap back bar instead of Standard of Might. Standard of Might I like it for open world. I'm running Cauterize, Blood Craze on the back bar, Volatile Armor, Fragmented Shield, and Resolve and Vigor. What's cool about the Volatile Armor is whenever you activate the Volatile Armor, you are able to hit everybody around you with the AoE, and it will proc Afflicted on them. So Afflicted's insane. What's cool is like they can purify, right? So they purify something, then they're gonna have to purify the diseased status effect. They're gonna have to purify the Minor Defile status effect and the dots that are on them. And then as soon as they purify, so they're gonna purify 2 status effects right out of the gate, and then they're just gonna reapply immediately after purifying. So it's a really, really strong set. I think they thought they nerfed it, but they actually buffed it. Mainly in the case that it can just proc and proc and proc and proc and proc. Alright, so let's look at stats. So on the back bar I've got 4124 wep damage, front bar is 4104. And going to the stat sheet, let's go ahead and eat some food. Alright, going to the stat sheet, so we're sitting at 34.2k max stam, 27.4k max health, and 18.4k max magicka. Let's go ahead and look back at sets here. So ideally, like this has stamina on it, you want these to be triglyphed. Everything triglyphed. And it'll be a lot better, a lot more tanky. That's my issue currently right now with the current setup I have. I just haven't put the triglyphs on it. I would suggest that. If you don't want to do that, that's fine, but I would suggest it. I'm also running max stat. I am a vampire on this build just because for this patch right now, vampire is kind of nice towards the end on the Dunmer. On the Orc, you're not going to want vampire. You're just going to be completely negating one of your passives. So if you're running a Dunmer stand DK, which is what I'm running on this setup, I would suggest the vampire just so you take the less damage. On the Orc, you're getting increased health recovery, so I would stay with that. I'm running the Warrior as the Mundus Stone, and also running the Tri-Food as well. And let's see. I think that's about it. Let's dive into CP. Alright, moving on over here to CP. So, in the Apprentice tree, we have nothing. Over here in the Atro, we only have 51 points into Mastered Arms. Moving on, we have 56 into Thaumaturge, 56 Precise Strikes, 51 into Piercing, and 56 into Mighty. Moving on over here, we have 72 Ironclad, 1 point into Resistant, because we have 1 point left over, 72 into Thick Skinned, 43 Hardy, and 43 Elemental Defender, with 39 points into Heavy Armor Focus. What this is going to do is it's going to give us the 3300, which is going to match the passive here. Let me go ahead and show you guys in case you don't know. Yeah, right here. It's the Scaled Armor, which gives you the 3300 spell resistance. So we're just trying to match that, and we're doing that with CP. So, and that's what we're doing there. Alright, moving on, going over to the Green Tree. Green Tree is pretty standard. I typically set up the same. It's going to be a little bit different because we are running a Defile. So I'm running 1 point into Siphoner, 3 points into Sprinter, 72 points into Warlord for 23% reduced break free cost, 7 points into Mooncalf, 43 into Tenacity because I heavy attack a lot, 72 points into Tumbling, and 72 points into Shadow Ward. Now this is my CP that I have set up for not having anything befoul. So now let me show you what it's going to look like if we're running befoul. So we're going to pull all of these out here. We're going to pull this out here. We're going to pull this out here. And we're going to come over here. And where the Shadow Ward is, we're actually going to take this down. Mainly because we're not blocking a whole lot. You don't want to be blocking on this build. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to run these points here. And you want 84 points in befoul. Why 84 points, JD? The reason why we're doing 84 points is because 84 points is literally going to give us 20% heal debuff on minor defile. Okay, and that is, in my opinion, super crucial. So this is how the new CP would be set up. We'd run 1 Siphoner, 2 Sprinter, 72 Warlord, 2 Bashing Focus, 37 in Tenacity, 72 into Tumbling, and then 84 in Befoul. And that's how that's going to be set up. So that's the CP tree. This is going to be the remaster version of the Plague build for Stam DK. I know I've got a Plague build for Magicka DK, but we didn't work on that this patch. I don't think Magicka DK is in a spot to where I really want to make builds this patch, because most of them would end up being dueling setups. This setup is going to be really good in open world. You're going to start feeling some heat if you get 2 good players on. You're going to feel some heat. But if you're fighting, outnumbered in a couple of pugs or whatever, you can really relatively go up to 5 or 6, and you're not going to be hurting too bad. And it's mainly because the rally and all that, you have a ton of healing on this setup. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, so I will see you guys out there on the battlefield. And once again, hope you guys enjoy the Plague build. It's gonna carry you over into next patch. And don't forget, guys, for exclusive setups, anytime I'm exploiting anything or anything like that, or if I find a bug in the game, community members are the only ones that are going to have access to that information. So if you want access to any of the bugs I find in the game, any exploits I might be working with, you're going to have to be a part of the community, so don't forget to join. For all you guys don't know out there, it's only going to be $4.99 a month, and you'll have exclusive access to my setups that I run that are exploiting. Or access to information that I give out where there's a problem in the game that I don't tell everybody else, because I don't want them to exploit it, right? I only want my community members to be able to use that. And so keep in mind, you're going to get my good all-around builds that are going to be released out to everybody else. If you want my specialty builds, you're going to have to be a community member. Once again, $4.99 a month, and you guys have exclusive access to that content, as well as exclusive build advice from me. So that only does go to community members as well. And any algorithms that I work on or that I find are malfunctioning in the game. So once again, see you guys out there on the battlefield, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and enjoy. Thanks for watching.